If you grow up in Dublin, there in a working class situation, the only way you're going to get out of the world is three things really. You're either going to be a professional boxer, a professional football player, or you get into music.
Never forget where we're coming from, it's only common sense. We're products of the environment which we represent. You have to keep it real for this world to acknowledge you. And Dublin is the place that we're paying homage to. It's the place of high rises where hoods are disguises and crime hypnotises. Young teens still are blinded. Me friends passed on and me life was decided. Watched others' mistakes and it helped me avoid them. Growing up in a 3-bedroom house in an estate broke a lot of spirits, but it helped me shape who I am, cause of what I was. Fought what seemed a lost cause, never give up when me back's against the wall. Survival of the strong-minded when times grinded me down. Music was the voice that helped turn it around. Lads that seemed sound ended up on the brown, glared into their eyes but there's no soul to be found. Where kids with both parents are the odd ones out. A lot are raised by their mas in their corpo house. It's not thought about, we accept what we're living through. Ballymun is the place that I'm paying homage to.
I started striving with this hip-hop as a kid, back when we used to be drinking cans down at the Shanty Bridge. Where you seen it, I was just writing about what went on where I lived. All the local residents was disliked by all of the pigs, and I could see why, cause we were being influenced by crime. Going around with flathead screwdrivers and fleecing car signs, watching the raw cars and at the Hollywood stretch. Have someone stand up on the muck hills just to be keeping sketch. Me and me mates were discussing who'll be flashing the cars, best to be giving it there and then burn it out when it's wrecked. Young fellas running would not even caring about our future, ending up in prison strung out as another drug abuser. Criminal empires of people wanting to be ruler. Got these look was paranoid creeping around the streets, carrying shooters. It's no rumour, cause it's the same all over Dublin. Where I blanch fingers, Ballymun, Dialect, and the crew.
Never forget where we're coming from, it's only common sense. We're products of the environment which we represent. You have to keep it real for this world to acknowledge you. And Dublin is the place that we're paying homage to.
I'm not just repping it for me lads, I couldn't give a rat's arse, believe that just retards. I'm in the streets of working class where the situation's drastic. It's fucking mad shit, the young fellas are running around with guns as if they were made of plastic. It's mad, isn't it? I didn't think I'd see half of them lasting. Rubber and sniffed out, but the paro has them blasting each other into an early casket. I've seen it all before, the prospect of making money quick will lead to street wars. And half of them don't live long enough for exams, cause the only mathematics they know is measuring grams. Get the picture, by any means necessary to accumulate the figures. The boys study the Bible as street literature, constantly looking over your shoulder, they're trying to get at you. If it's not the fucking law, it's the next thug looking to settle it. There's nothing there for the kids living in council settlements. They say there's work to be done, but I've yet to see the evidence.
I'm from the place where the dicks keep harassing, the pricks keep on asking how this place is lasting. When fellas keep on blasting till bodies hit the caskets, running up with mass, hitting everything that passes. The enemies that laughing, the families that are parting. The war's only starting to see who's the hardest. Regarding the heartless, the bloodthirst is parching. The empty plate is starving, not knowing who we're timing. Armed up like sergeants, the swords start to carving. When lights start to gargling, blades fucking sparkling. The cars start to parking, looking for the bargain, then looking for the target so they can rip apart. And no begging for your pardon, just fucking start the marching. Get going on your toes, running around the block before the busting around the shots. Spoilers sucking around the cops, so be fucking around with much. Don't expect this shit to stop.
Never forget where we're coming from, it's only common sense. We're products of the environment which we represent. You have to keep it real for this world to acknowledge you. And Dublin is the place that we're paying homage to.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, the circle is vicious. Money and bitches, thugs are malicious. War on the streets to get riches. The game's a about more than respect. Got reality checked when I had to strap me bro up with a bulletproof vest. Every day's a new test and it could be consequential. Sniffing coke and being paranoid and driving mental. I seen what was happening around me, so I bailed out. Too many loud mouths, didn't know who to trust, who to doubt. Boys, I'm minded mathematically when it comes to be counting cash. You see, hash or weed, PO if it has to be. Not me, too many speed dial keys for Gardaí. They're another bunch of fucking wankers acting hard.
Another victim to the streets, cause of a rat race where the winner takes all, the losers blasted in the face. Family left shattered, mates never mattered. When the gun went off, every one of the lads scattered. Egos disappeared and tough men became frail. As the shot ran out, one froze and went pale. Dropped to his knees as he was splattered with blood. Looked to his right, his mate fell in the dirt. The car screeched into the night, he was numb with shock. Felt like he was dying from fright, felt like his heart stopped. As the people gathered, you could hear the pin drop. His mate's dead, he can't sleep cause he still hears the shots.
All these murders got me thinking philosophical, cause there's people out there who be living a life that's less than honourable. I say the experience must be horrible of having to identify your murdered family member down the hospital. Forgiveness for the deed would seem illogical. People want revenge, feels like stopping the violence would be impossible. There's never ever gonna be a winner. A killer's just a sinner, ending the life when I'm squeezing on the trigger. Criminals see it as justice delivered. It could give your soul shivers, look its impact has never been considered. Family losing someone, whether a brother, cousin, son, or father, husband or friend. Something that's making their lives harder. We'll try to think smarter as these days are getting darker. But what can it change? The stays the same, the violence still remains. And it's a shame when you discover another life's been claimed, leaving a broken hearted family to harbour all the pain.
Boys be positioning plots, riddling shots, leaving family sniffling snots. It's like a kick in the rocks when they be picking up Glocks in them different spots. Then these kids just adopt to the criminal lifestyle that never finish or stops. You see them chilling at shops, all the lads giving them props. No decision to cock, cause they don't think twice if they're killing or not, or whether the victim's living or not. So many bodies being pumped by the shotties. The killers turn up at the funeral and probably say sorry. How you supposed to tell a mother that her son's being murdered and that they're not gonna investigate any further? You be killing her with her son, so think of that when you pick up a gun. Cause life's too timid for fun, for fingerless to the moon. Family members left picking up crumbs of the dead ones.
States to be drug infested. Cars are stolen, guarded, patrolling, dealers holding guns to keep them protected. Agitated adolescents getting arrested. Regardless what the crime be, their innocence is being protested. People's lying if they say their lives unaffected. If drugs are something you're involved in, then caution is something that's recommended. Cause there's been many victims to the business. Seeing it in the Jambo was short of Christmas just for being a witness. It's a life to be offering no forgiveness. Reason why the coke heads on weekends be having the merry sniffness. Reason why hacker the state be strung out. No lying, demand will never run out as long as the summons supplying. There'll be many that be taking that route, no doubt. But it's likely you could end up with your brains blown out. Cause while there's money to be made off of this country's drug trade, people gonna be winding up in an early grave.
You know the stories we tell. Weeks wage being made by drug sales. Each day boosts these street retails. No trails, no guarded details. These stories are far from pretend. Can't dodge obstacles that meet them. Mixed with backstabbers and wannabe friends. Shallow grave when you fall in the deep end.
Pushers pulling products, picking up different profits, pick on another's pockets, pick up a gun and cock it. If someone tries to stop it, they just lock it and pop it. Get the cream by any means, keep the streets hopping. Dealing delinquents, districts through the slums, filled with crackheads and bums and the smackheads of pubs that lap up the crumbs. Maybe a laugh or some. These hard realities come and hard mentality runs through the brains of these men and through the veins of this pen. I'll keep describing this again and again. Until when? Until someone visits this place. See all the prisons to rape, see all the killers escape. 2 years for the pedo that rapes. You make the wrong choice, you paying a long price. Sentenced to a long life, dementing them wrong rights, resulting in long fights. Distinguishing enemies from friends and who you trust to the fucking end.
You know the stories we tell. Week's wage being made by drug sales. Each day boost these street retails. No trails, no guarded details. These stories are far from pretend. Can't dodge obstacles that meet them. Mixed with backstabbers and wannabe friends. Shallow grave when you fall in the deep end.
What we speak is what we're living, but we're far from thugs. You should join Cypress Hill cause you're only mugs. Pain is blood. Well, if I could, I would start a fucking revolution for the ones I love. Standing for the rights of those considered shite. But I do what I can over the beat and a mic. Over and over when I fight for something I believe in. I'll follow it through till the day I stop breathing. And we're deceived in this material world. We're living a thug life. Get your material girls and material swords. A bullshit and baggage locked up in Port Ryan cause they said he couldn't manage. Paranoia get you through. Stops you being foolish. Soon as you trust someone they turn out to be a Judas. It's easy to prove this no matter your stature. Life's a bitch, I'm gonna kill her when I catch her.
You know the stories we tell. Week's wage being made by drug sales. Each day boost these street retails. No trails, no guarded details. These stories are far from pretend. Can't dodge obstacles that meet them. Mixed with backstabbers and wannabe friends. Shallow grave when you fall in the deep end.
Look me loose, split into two sections. Instead of making drug investments, I took music as a preference. Took the right tone, the right direction. Fuck chopping my stuff, I might just write stuff. Play the cards with a nice bluff. Seen some nice smoke in New York shit. You should see how long the flight took. I let the mic bust till the mic rust. If I had taken that left, me life's fucked. Probably would have been in tight cuffs. Taking couple right hooks off a toy slug. My polite but fuck it, I got the opportunity to dodge and it sniff, so I took it. This music I love it, teaching the ways of street literature through all the crooked. Put it however way you wanna put it. This is the way we gon' run it. Educating up and coming to the route they should be running. Make your choice, it's crime to the left, music to the right.
I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds. I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds.
You know me, Mr. QT, keeping low key. Get the cunts that owe me, thinking to get the blow free.
You must be joking, fuck 3 skins, a book of rhymes, I'll be token. Leaving the mic smoking, banging out bars and keys legitimately. Would you speak me mind and then I'll put it on CD.
You spit bars, that's cool, but I deliver them. Making paper, cut out the middleman, no equivalent. I rap halves and ounces at a time while the addicts queue up at the blocks in a line.
Selling or buying, we're all running out of time. Each man to his own once we learn to survive.
Till I fucking die, have to learn to duck and dive. Watch the time fly, fuck making ends meet, I'm trying to stay alive.
Books put aside, you can keep that bollocks. What taught on the block, so I speak in street knowledge. I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds. I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds.
We be providing a bit of street literature for the listener. Conscious while analysing, concentrating on uplifting a whole generation through rhyme. And the woods be feeling sick of living a life where the system has them trapped as a prisoner. And hindsight, a situation seems similar. The country's falling apart with the work of the Taoiseach and all the ministers. For neighbourhoods a hunger for blood. Fellas pick it up with guns and gloves as we speculate something sinister. Only 3 outcomes for a stand at the living. Either be rich locked up in prison or the victim of a killing. When I was young I made the decision between being a criminal and a musician, focusing on something different. Street providers give us credit for the way that we said it. Us young fellas got the message spread for all to cherish.
I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds. I made a choice in this life of mine. Pick the right road between music and crime. Instead of snorting coins, I'm writing rhymes. Tell it how I see it and enlighten minds. feel to walk inside me shoes for a minute. Take a gamble in this life, but I don't have the winning ticker. I'm stumbling, watching the sky crumbling. Cause life's rocky like Stallone on the road to Dublin. Place your faith in the invisible, I don't see the point. Like paranoid schizophrenics, smoking joints, brain cells ignite when the truth hits you. The big picture is literature to enrich you. I write scriptures in layman terms with not much of an education, but I'm more concerned for people with no food or teenage mothers. Family structure of expelled brothers, done drug pushers, and the people that have hope with no hope at all. Know the system's designed to make them fall, but they stand tall. Although I block from every angle, tear down the walls of silence till we're no longer strangled. No longer can we live like this, but it's hard to be positive when we're left to wish about what might be, what we might see. We die and find out if it was meant to be. If we could close our eyes and forget our troubles, would we leave behind all the stress and struggles? Return to the person that we used to be. But the question is, would we like what we see? If we could close our eyes and forget our troubles, would we leave behind all the stress and struggles? Return to the person that we used to be. But the question is, would we like what we see? For those wishing I've gone, cause you always stay strong in this fucked up world, asking what's going on like Marvin till the days depart. Then I'd sit back chilling on a bench in the garden, no pen or pad, with no stress on me chest. Imagine making a difference, a change for the best. I'm just a dreamer that gives a glimmer of light. The only time we're at peace is when we sleep at night. You reap what you sow, the benefits I don't know, I'm still trying to find out, so I take things slow. I'm walking death like the crow, but I continue making careful selections off life's menu. What I want isn't much at all, just to keep making albums. Walk before I crawl, rap before I talk, listen before I hear. The future stained glass, it's not very clear. I steer fear to the side and avoid a collision. Writing these rhymes was my greatest decision. Dealt a bad hand, but hip-hop is me spade that digs me over hole and over an early grave. If I could close me eyes and forget me troubles, would I leave behind all the stress and struggles? Return to the person that I used to be. But the question is, would I like what I see? If I could close me eyes and forget me troubles, would I leave behind all the stress and struggles? Return to the person that I used to be. But the question is, would I like what I see?
The invisible man can't see me. That's what it is. Word up. Is it me or is it cold out here?
To the person that I used to be. But the question is, would I like what I see? Picture the scene in a cold tenement house. Kids dying from diseases we haven't figured out. No real jobs about, just odd jobs on the dock, shifting heavy bags of sand, timber or cold blocks. Meet a boss in the pub, have a pint before work 3 or 4 times a day. And lifted we sweat blood. Some travelled to England to do the same there, ended up homeless cause B&Bs went prepared to accept paddy. Although it wasn't fair, we broke our backs building England just for the boat fare to return home where times had hardened. Lucky to get your dinner cause loads were left starving. Kids with bush shoes and no socks on their feet. Some had neither and still played on the street. Makes me wonder how we made it this far, and makes me realise how lucky we are.
Well, when we lived in tenement house, it seemed alright because that's all we were used to. If there was 10 rooms in our house, there could be 10 families living in the house. My mother was lighting the oil lamps one night and the floor caved in under. You'd only get maybe 1 or 2 days work a week if you were lucky.
Looking back over the years, it was a day of darkness when heroin first started flooding on the market. Abusers were unaware, plenty people owed it, while all of the dealers was raking up the proceeds. Many emigrated cause they couldn't get work. The government started building estates on the outskirts. The country was spending well more than it was worth. Rave was the craze, the decade of exorcist birth. Young fellas were out robbing cars for the sport. A lot of tension with the struggle going on in the north. Catholics were shocked and in an array of disbelief when the stories came about the children being raped by all the priests. Politicians crooked, obstructing justice not to be trusted, when every single one of the bastards has been corrupted. History's repeating with the way that things have gone lately. I'm speaking for the babies that were born in the 80s.
Most of us have memories of sunny days at a playground when you didn't have a care in the world. But when a child is the victim of sexual abuse, those days become dark. That innocence is stolen, and those happy childhood memories are never formed.
I don't have to elaborate, the shit is self-explanatory. They say not to worry, we're looking for ways to kill us from a laboratory. There's kids out making the Scarface, mad money resulting in jail, car chases or the cemetery. I watch the spirit of a broken down community which once stood in solidarity and unity. We're not the ones in control, so where do we get the blame? You're the ones fucking it up, and what now? We have to pay, try and keep up the speed. There's not enough for real people in need. The government accumulate their own greed. Slowly the country was bled dry for every cent that was worth. They're out buying yachts and we're in the dirt. Now the predicament is we're forced to sell drugs. We don't all have education on paper to help us. How many times do we say it before you cop it? Get it? People before profit.
The Irish housing bubble has burst and the so-called Celtic Tiger economy has been devastated. Unemployment is rising and day after day the economic forecasts get gloomier and gloomier.
We want the rich to be taxed. I want the normal people who have worked and made these people rich to get a fair crack at the whip.
Catch me on the bus with the best fuck sluts. Wanna test get bus with the rest good look. Hello, it's G-Joy, just thought I'd remind you. Get lost, I'd find you, heads off, I'm mindless. Change the style of climate, change times, rearrange rhymes just to suit the rhyming. From rock bottom I'm rising, look a top model assignment. No pop surprises, no stop from climbing. Stuck up on another's eyes, look a Klingon. And what you bring on is just another sing song. The king's gone, the underdog has appeared. For all you faggots and queers to get the fuck out with her. Disappeared, you're sucking dick, I'm what I'm sucking this earth. Tastes good, down it. Now the message is clear for all you messes to hear. Left all you lepers in fear, cause one of the best is in here.
Till the dawn of the last day, cracks and smoulders till I'm old on, can no longer strike like a cobra. Till the day I fall and I'm stepped over, I keep rising like a Footsoldier.
The people need this, I'm in the next world, they in the previous. Just spitting is needless. Come on, I know you feel this. Hip hop, I read this, even the blunt can see this. Grab a hold like a penis, so jiggle it about, just let it linger. Shit in the city, your mouth, here's the long finger. Dropping jaws like a blonde singer with no niggas, or the blonde minger, a slow picker, a flow ripper. The flow's bigger than the spur, the low blow spit. I punch lines for higher than rhymes to a more. You high, but then I'm higher. The high fly, I rhyme, right, I time, boy. You buying time? It's a euro a second, go on a tour and just wreck it like an over reflection. That's a suburban rejection, like a purpose selection. And people that don't know a course of correction. You don't accord to me section, that's like she on the pill and you riding over
till
the
dawn of the last day, cracks and smoulders till I'm old on, can no longer strike like a cobra. Till the day I fall and I'm stepped over, I keep rising like a Footsoldier. Till the dawn of the last day, cracks and smoulders till I'm old on, can no longer strike like a cobra. Till the day I fall and I'm stepped over, I keep rising like a Footsoldier. I keep rising like a Footsoldier.
Call me Mr. Bombastic, slush fantastic. You fucking spastics, getting rubber like elastics. Chicks doing splits on me dick like gymnastics. I'm like a message, I'm always in box. So with the board swallowing cocks, so be forcing line dropping me jocks. I'm never stopping, I'm locked. Fully blown alcoholic, better luck if you're stuck before I'm robbing the lock. Fuck taking the safe, sudden comfort in the back, so I'm taking the crate. You think I'm shit? Well, you're mistaken, I'm great. Eating rappers and scraping the plate. You'll be pap smeared cause I slap words, any statements to make. Here's a lesson that you're failing to take, cause I spit venom, but don't prevail as a snake. You better pray to a saint, these lyrics ain't for the timid and faint.
Who comes iller than this venomous spew when I spit? Mike on the stage lit by this arrogant prick. You've no choice, I admit that there's no one as sick or even comes close to the lines of the script. I'm Luke Kelly and Rugged Man, rolled into one of all Irish MCs. Name I better can't be done, viewed with MCs for no reason like Freddie Fox. Call me Frankie Fraser cause I'm leaving you shocked, picking the lock when I stalk an unbelievable plot with poisonous syllables that making you rough. Say that I'm not, no one hears you when you're speaking in tongues. I'm speaking so sharp the flows are cutting me guns, little by little till I'm no longer anonymous. I'm gonna just hit the fucking deck in need of a cardiologist. A high possibility could be a liability, that's what it takes. I'll die for credibility, no average man, but I'm just a grain of sand. And millions facing war every day like Palestinian children, dropping bombs lyrically since infancy until infinity. Every line is done realistically, gamble the respect on the roll of a dice. There's no price for being as poisonous, tough in the voice. Fuck the camera lights, this is where I wanna be and stay hungry like an Ethiopian MC.
Check out street scholars spitting the proper, have all of the people bopping their heads saying the shit's a pure stomach. Never mind what you heard it from all the washers we send it to the doctor when we kick their heads round just like a game of soccer. Your ears appreciate what we got on offer, looking down from a bird's eye view just like a copper chopper, flipping verbal gymnastics. Got the wood spinning off if it's axes, revising our tactics as we pour our thoughts into practice. None of you clowns come at you, we laugh and you try and reenact it. Leave it like cat and leech when I push your head open where I hatchet. Only boys that I kill with is the boys that we rap with. Yeah, and I'm bringing the static to all you fucking faggots. Smoked out for weeks with the key of weed under me mattress, like a wizard with the pen on the mook of magic for all you addicts. The rock blend on me thinking outside the brackets. 10 out of 10 again, the boy just created another classic.
You stressed kid, take a break, look at Kid Kat. Yeah, this a mismatch, we look to kick tracks. 60 seconds on the beat, you developing a piss patch. Cause we the shit, lads. I've had to deal with more pricks than Penelope piss flaps. Put them down like a cock at a Jewish bar mitzvah. Stubborn flows and fire, bringing the wounds you desire. The lads be taken to their feet cause they were burning out some tours. Any faggot stepping up and sure pucks to be flying. I'm like Jesus, turning water to wine. Tell your daughters to watch cause they'll be making them mine. Have them pillow munching while I'm walking behind. If I'm not walking for crime, I'm lighting jackets for style. Cause where every day that passes we're running out of time. Never running out of rhymes, fly high, be marshmallowed. Straight spitting G.I. Dan and Costello, pulling on G-strings like the strings of a cello. Bitches swinging on dicks like we chilling at string fellows. No matter where we go, we always fluffing the fellas. Keeping it real for all you lasses and fellas.
I don't know, the lads just hate fucking honestly. It's not my fault they hate them under control, you know what I mean? There's 3 rules, right? Listen to what I tell you. Don't step out of line with any of the lads. And don't fucking burn us out.
The cycle of life for weeks I'm analysing. Out on the streets we think all of these kids to be idolizing. Boys are sitting on a corner smoking splits so they be pricing the amount of money they need to get cans of me off. Life weekend comes and no doubt to be joyriding. Estates are feeling like my fellas stolen the car, showing off their driving. Guy that comes to rush the buses feeling heightened. Cause they know if they're getting caught the pig's gonna give them a vicious hiding. The excitement, the adrenaline be providing. Cause in the midst of the chaos start to cause in the garden. You're at the smiling. Let me tell you about a hometown near the northern. But all around the way fear is rampant because the guns are fired. And I put it down to the criminal war, respect and violence. All of the heads out there and their reputation as a torrent. Toss the flow to as a meditating silence. Type of characters the working class you in society be more than.
There's a sense of adventure going on for these kids. They don't see the danger of what's happening. Their level of intelligence, the streetwise intelligence, is an asset in the service. In some cases these kids have been lost early on. And trying to regain control of them now is completely pointless because they're starting to come into their own in this chaotic environment.
It doesn't matter whether it's Paddy's Day, New Year's or Halloween. All over the kid blue, it's been boom by all the teams. Like a pattern which we follow, walking out of the yard, carrying a few trays of beer, a couple of vodka bottles. Years ago it's the same for the role models. All good points before they experience some of life sorrows. A harsh education with the thoughts of contemplating it. It'd be the same for the generations of tomorrow. Once they're coming up in council housing, youths be browsing, becoming influenced by their surroundings. Gargle off the cans to be down and unaware that if the judgment are clouding, will they be steady clowning? Dealing, I wonder so many consider the outing. When his fortunes amounting to over hundreds of thousands, arousing guard of suspicion, waiting to lock him up in prison. All of it brought about is part of his shady living.
It can be quite a battle zone in here sometimes. If these people have decided to stay here and completely disregard anything that we have said, well then they have to suffer the consequences. I was gunshot. Hopefully just an animal in front of me. Worst case scenario, if we can't stop them, we'll absolutely.
Never seen the road so deserted, like a war zone.
Alcohol abuse is rampant. Fellas be kidnapping families just so they can hold them for bands. And boys wrecking place with the cars to be lamping. People dying from the coke cause all of the shit they've been stamping. Or at least that's the more you understanding. How can there be people homeless when there's loads of gas has been left abandoned? Makes you wonder what the government's planning. It's the same through Ireland, all to the way to the city down on the Shannon. Kids drinking flag in the soil or walking naggins. Swallowing easily smarties, leaving a witness well, hell when I skagging. Young teenage scared to becoming single parents. Custom cheap, fuck got them up the duff, not even caring about raising a seed. The onion, a child of its needs. For your means, it'll be remembered as a selfish state. Now tell me how the fuck is a child ever to manage when the place they're coming from will keep them disadvantaged?
We don't know where they are. They'll be over in England or something. Don't know, don't care either. They're all worried about.
I don't know whether it's depressed or not. What the fuck is depressed?
Come on, lads, in there, this is the just conceive of yourself, lads.
Visualize something like cars born and cars torn, city hitting corrosion, eroding your deepest emotions. Just stuff told if someone's diagnosing your hometown with poison potion, just hoping watching the road fold. I feel we got it, making the lives harder for starters. Can't even make it simple departure from me after the Cardiff without being watched, stopped and blamed. They're causing carnage, picking people at random. Scum, I can't stand them, playing off the innocence cause they don't have the privilege of gaining the respect from the public that they're killing in. Pack of bitches only walking numbers, corrupting the area and making us wonder where's the evidence. The residents don't even feel safe, so they take their intelligence and turn it into hate. Next thing you know, they're boxing you in the face for opening your mouth. Man, this shit's a disgrace. Pulling their biters off so they can cause a bit of violence. Running words, they're picking on the soil. I'm tired of this environment. They're protecting everything but their own nationality. State of emergency cause the police didn't survive casualty. It seems mad to me cause they never run the scene rapidly. A local person shot and it's only a minor catastrophe. Fuck this, give them more guns to man. That's worse than giving that rap Paul Williams a program about the carbon, how they're successful when there's drugs everywhere saying they've a tight threshold. Reality check, there's still loads of criminals, live words, running empires and being caught at the minimum. I tell it in a method that's lyrical, putting people words at the place that we're living through. It's Dublin.
Most of me life I've been living in shitty dwellings. Watching as most young fellas still be growing up as felons. Born as a product of the environment, steady rebelling against the Garda and the government. Getting money from selling illegal narcotics for all the drug rackets established. Distributing heroin, pot, coke and the e-tablets to all the addicts, feeding their habits. People living with drug addiction, son, it ain't nothing lavish. Feeling bad when I'm seeing people strung out in heroin. Ain't no telling all the pain our kids is inheriting. There ain't a chance you're gonna hear this rapping American. When we're from Dublin and this is the story that we've been developing ever since we were younger. Shit, once again, it's the boy wonder. Yeah, I brainstorm with thunder. Guaranteed by the day me body's put under. Me soul's in a tennis number. I'll be renowned as a ruined veteran, flowing flawless. Ain't no point in spitting the chorus. We're just signing lawyers and the shit we see before us. Yeah, take a drink, but only in moderation. Cause so many times I've been stuck in a situation where people do be getting pissed no matter the occasion. Footy breaking out and then they forget what they were celebrating. Need to step back and look at how we live. Cause it seems to me that all we're doing is setting bad examples for the kids. That's why you try and meet with their requirement. Over young fella doing positive in a negative environment. Heroin still a corner counting victims to feed off. Many of you have been lost to the blast of the song off this cold war will give you a touch of frost. That's why you should take heed to the guidance in the environment. That be reminding you in case you become forgetful. When we do be rocking the mic soon, be respectful.
You want to see the Garda today? We were just cycling up and down the road and he started cursing at us. Calling the scumbags and all. We weren't even doing that.
I've seen the homeless sleep on benches from Dublin to New York. Seen drug deals through the wire when I take a simple walk. Fellas half my age strung out behind bars on the mitts from school, and they're out robbing cars. And it's not a shock to hear somebody got shot. Fucking syringes on the grounds of the Ballymun shops. The undertunnels long forgot, but for the girls it's not. Attacked and raped by two blokes that were never caught. That's just how it was, there's no need to exaggerate. I'm not glorifying the horror, this is what we had to face. Don't ask what's the problem when I'm out of control. This is what I was given, so this is what I am shown. Move from home to home, place to place. You're looking down on the youth, so they spit in your face. And what'd be the case if the tables turned? Selling crack, smashing grabs is how your money was earned. And this is what I've learned, you're no voice for the silent. Guard of getting payoffs on the last day of retirement. Read between the lines, this is much more than rhyming. I'm tired of fucking being seen as council housed and violent.
Back in me school days, an adolescent was steady stressing. Never really found any of the classes interesting. Truth be told, I was really attending. I'd be on the bunk down the park smoking off a lump of cannabis resin. Attained certain jewels that I'm never forgetting. See, life wasn't too pleasant up on Wellview Crescent, but it was teaching me my valuable lessons. While you're seeing it, none of the teachers would have been able to answer my questions. Felt uplifted when I benefited from the wisdom. School just pushes you to be something that's required by the system. Wanted to follow me dreams, so that didn't appeal to be mine. Came from a place where the only choice was either music or crime, so I chose rhyme. And wise thoughts kept me so nourished. Everybody's got a gift, but it's gotta be encouraged. So when kids tell you their dreams and you're keeping them discouraged, how the fuck could you ever be expecting them to flourish?
We don't need you anymore, we've broken loose. Developed our education with the gloves and boots. We don't need you anymore, and that's the truth. They never brainwash us, tell us who lives and who they shoot. We don't need you anymore, we can see through the lies. Incarcerating people and programming lives. We don't need you anymore, we learn to be wide, while leaders not followers, and that's where we collide.
A brainwash camp from the age of 4, bullshit galore. From the time we walk through the door, so-called education not stimulating my brain waves. They preach discipline but don't know how to behave. When the kid with glasses gets spit on and kicked, preparing us for what they need, it makes me sick. So I do me own thing, then you're sort as a rebel, not fitting with their schemes. I have me own dreams, me own state of mind. The school system's designed to make you blind to the real world and what we want to believe. We're made follow a code and kept deceived about what's really going on around us every day. I'm not talking about the crime, this is past the estate. I refuse to lay down and fall asleep. Fight till I defeat the system that makes us sheep.
We don't need you anymore, we've broken loose. Developed our education with the gloves and boots. We don't need you anymore, and that's the truth. They never brainwash us, tell us who lives and who they shoot. We don't need you anymore, we can see through the lies. Incarcerating people and programming lives. We don't need you anymore, we learn to be wide, while leaders not followers, and that's where we collide.
Kids can barely read and write, they blaming us, but you ain't fucking teach them right. You're supposed to be a teacher, right? They predicting kids' futures, like you can see their life. What do you think these boys just say? Fucking and live. Now they pull up their sleeves and some put stuff up their sleeves just to accustom their needs. Plumber and grade, some sucking the weird, cause the message they were given that they wouldn't succeed. Couldn't achieve, what kind of fuck up believe? Run amok and deceive, have enough of the same. Pick up a book and read, an urban education, yeah, that's the stuff I need. Rather run with tips, cook and see something deep. Street wisdom got me acknowledging truth. School systems be demolishing youth, brainwashed like them problem troops. Would we be astonishing loops?
We don't need you anymore, we've broken loose. Developed our education with the gloves and boots. We don't need you anymore, and that's the truth. They never brainwash us, tell us who lives and who they shoot. We don't need you anymore, we can see through the lies. Incarcerating people and programming lives. We don't need you anymore, we learn to be wide, while leaders not followers, and that's where we collide.
We don't need you anymore. We don't need you anymore.
you choose to see the world, and so be it. But don't you dare try to take this away from me. I've been coming in here every day for 24 years, watching children die and seeing good people suffer. And if I quit believing that there was a bigger plan behind all this, well, I just wouldn't be able to show up tomorrow. So just stop it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You'd be surprised how many bad things happen around here for a reason.
Give me a reason why the world is filled with sadness and sorrow. I can only imagine knowing that your child might be dead tomorrow from lack of food or diseases like AIDS. Very little is done and so little is saved. If every government pulled together to help in every way, there'll be less people dying in Africa every single day. But the greedy get richer, don't look at the big picture. Sit in a warm office and upgrade our bank figures on home soil. Our kids are walking the streets far from the street, never knowing where they're going to sleep or when they might eat. And what's fucked up is all of this is completely normal to all of these kids. A fella aged 12 killed himself tonight cause his uncle liked to touch him and say it was alright. Give me a reason, cause me head's about to crack. I talk to Danny every day but now he doesn't talk back.
Looking over this world's history, harsh stories of injustice. Man's will corrupt, it makes it hard for our own God to even trust us. Genocides where innocent people being butchered. This world is a place where billions of souls have experienced life and suffered. Realising how our society was structured. Europeans took over the whole world and laid waste to some beautiful cultures, dwelling on it all trying to understand the basics. Why there's so much racist spreading hatred, rapists, stripping women, naked the righteous people and shackled with metal bracelets. Life, the most beautiful thing in existence, is idly being wasted. Gets too much sometimes for me mind to take it. Return to me higher form so we can see it on a universal basis. You think we do this music to be famous? Our main objective is to be effective and try to bring about some changes. With all the shit that's going on, I wonder people atheists, but that's what gives me a reason to try and replace the faith in yous.
Give me a reason why these people are screaming in agony cause they're bleeding just because what they believe in, whether it's Allah or Jesus. Well, disease is increasing over the needles, stop feeling people need pieces to sleep in. So much misery creeping, they say imprisonment weakens, the broken syllables deepen for them kids that need treatment because they're sick of being beaten. Night was overpowered, they're dreaming. Some grab a rope for the lies that were the bleeding. I blame the ones who are leading for leaving their own on the streets hungry and freezing. Now the currency's needed, recession plummeting people. We're the lower class, they don't give a fuck how we're feeling. Drugs have to come from somewhere for the smugglers to deal it. Newspapers publishing tragedies, more or less punishing families just to supplement casualties. Just the world's fucked up mentality, having me stuck in a fucking fantasy.
I try and come to some sort of realization. Truth is devastating, it's hard to find something to keep your faith in. Some people think they own the streets, others have their own beliefs. So I have to blow myself to pieces for you to notice me. So much evil in the world, I wonder where the fuck's the good. Then again I couldn't care less, wonder if I even should. They say to keep me faith in God, but just stop. I lost that when they start putting perverts in a confession box. I see some of the boys I used to be getting fed with, smoking joints at the back of the sheds and breaking heads with, and they don't even recognise me now. I'm like a stranger, still debating on whether to give him that score till later. It's helping him to his grave shot. The boys had two choices, smoking the dirty shit or sell it, end up doing it major. Reality at times I make you sick to your stomach. Humanity be wiped out with just the push of a button. Give me a reason.
In this day and age where all the major record labels are trying to plug up any gaps where people download music for free, You gave your record away and asked people to copy it and give it to as many people as they could, which means that you're not going to earn a penny from it, don't you?
Yeah, well, you know, the only way I can sum that up is that I was in it for the money, you know, I'd have given up a long time ago, and my goal is always to get the music to as many people as possible. That's always been my drive in the music, you know, to be able to sell out venues. And I think by giving the album away, obviously more people will hear it, you know.
1984 on the 6th of December, a legend was born, brought to life to his mother, Penny Pepper. In his hero rise for leisure, dealing with all of the pressure, determination up in his heart that couldn't be measured. Never followed the crowd, Joe, damn as a shepherd. A clever trendsetter, hip-hop representer, emerged the urban intelligence era. Rocking shows out of all these young fellas, no one could do it better. Looking back on how his boys got together, banging out instrumentals in your bedroom, flowing acapellas. Play me your album, I'm offered you a tenner. You said fuck cheddar, you'd rather bless me with the listen and pleasure. How your past gets me round in September. At least we share the beat, conversations which you'll always remember. June 22nd, online, Heaven's Gate that you enter. Daniel McDonald's a legend, doing a tick list forever.
I remember the days all too well. Bag of cans into Thomas Clark Tower, getting blazed on the stairwell. Couldn't care hell, we never had remorse. Getting chased by the Garda from the top to the G floor. But lunatic, one thing I'll have to admit you, apart from all the gargling and partying and the spliffs we lit, and that was still with gigs with you. All the boys Hannah and all were making mad noise when they heard you spit. Shit, one of the first in the game, Irish raw rap legend, and nobody's taking that away. Have to laugh at the crack that we used to have. Goldie looking chains, dressing room, bottles in the bag. Eddie Mel's dressing room, bottle of vodka in the bag. To the VIP bar in Gramo's beast of a van. Some of the best times I've ever had. Me and the boys will keep it blazing till we see you again, Dan.
Dan's the man, we always got on with each other, but it's starting to get like a little family. Like, I mean, everything that comes along with it. There's so many bleeding things that's great about it, to be honest.
I've seen what real is in its plain state. 5 years previous to the day's date, on the same day me and Looney met, and I feel I was truly blessed to even spit on the same stage. But when someone on the same brain wave has to make way, the feeling hits like a melee. You know what they say, when it seems dim you have to maintain, cause it's leading into the day break. But who the guess the game's fake plays, cause I'm running with the boys that you used to left. Know the main name's not the game fame, it's to make change. Fuck a payday, slave trade and to make wage. Don't be dwelling on Dooney's dead, cause Stan's still dwelling in the tunes he left. I better bail, mate, and I pray you're in a safe place. As always, true respect.
I remember back in 06, cruising in the Stilo, going to the Axis to do a gig for Dino. Me who went for beer, smoking 12 with a kilo, trying to teach the kids how to get an MC's flow. I could see them looking at you thinking what the fuck does he know, and they heard your rappers in your spot of what we know. I'm glad I crossed your path and I got to see firsthand you make it a sin grow. And you should know that we feel no pain when we speak of your name, cause you completed your aim. And our working class movement is out for the change. Street literature on the rules and you ignited the flame. I remember what you said about me flow and how the shit was gonna change, and it didn't. You were right when it came, and although you had to live in pain, you're not gone, cause you left us with a piece of your mind that plays on.
You know what I mean? But like, your mates, the way I see it, will always fucking know you for who you are, cause it's like family without being family. You know what I mean? Your family, you're forced to be in people's family. You know what I mean? You're born into a family, where this is a family that we've kind of made up.
Shit, damn. The most out straight fella ever met in me life. Kept the lid hold on and watched the shit. I was rhyming 3 letter words, you were rocking the point. Got to the point then where I start rocking the mic. New York pal, we had the place hopping that night. Doctor's notes out, acting the bollocks on the floor. We were nearly chilling in first class with the look. Shit, every time I heard a Looney verse, I stop and recite. Apart from being a legend, but made you are more of an influence. Had you and Jim schooling me on how to use the voice as an instrument. The sickest lyricists with the knowledge of a revolutionary dissidence. Everybody's missing it. Sometimes I think about the innocence of that predicament. Chilling, politicking with you in the hospital, listening to all the stories you had to tell us, spliffing and visioning. Like a Rob Maker, a working class would be kept lit.
I don't know what made me pick up a pen and write a rap. I don't know what the fuck inspires me to do it, but I've done it like that. It's never about the money. Obviously the money would be nice.
Respect.
Yeah.
You need respect. Have people respect you for something that you do and something that you enjoy doing. If you've got skill, if you've got writing, like
doesn't matter what it is, like if you can't get respect off either your friends or anyone else on anything you do, this is my way of doing. I'll get respect one way or the other if writing my shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.